Hello, teacher. All of the students are so happy to learn advanced English vocabulary.
I'm happy to hear that, because that means the students really want to improve their English.
Exactly, they really want to speak English as a native English speaker. That's why we're here one more time, so you can teach us more advanced phrases.
I am pleased to help you. This time, I will teach you some expressions for daily use, so you can use them every day in your real life. I want you to pay attention and practice, please. For example, take something or someone for granted. Do you know what it means?
Take something or somebody for granted? I think it's the first time I hear that expression.
It means to assume that something or someone will always be there. For example, we shouldn't take it for granted that the government will always be there to help us when there are problems. Or a more simple example, it's easy to take your parents for granted.
Oh, now I get it. That's a very useful expression. I want to know more.
Another expression is having said that. It is also a very useful expression. It means you are going to say something which will disagree with what you said a moment ago. I will give you an example. I think we need to get ready for a really difficult time over the next few months. Having said that, the sales this year to date have been really good. Another example, we might have to do some overtime. Having said that, I think you should cancel your holidays.
I see, it's a way to add contrasting information. Please continue.
Do you have something in mind? It's a suggestion that we want to make, an idea we want to raise or introduce. For example, do you have something in mind? Do you have anything to suggest? Or a more real example, that'll be a great idea. Do you have something in mind? Another expression is on the point of, meaning just about to do something. For example, well, I was just on the point of wrapping up for the day and leaving, but if it's quick, yes, certainly, come in and we'll have a talk. Keep an eye on means to watch someone or something. For example, can you keep an eye on the soup in case it boils over? Or another example, can you keep an eye on the kids? They are out in the garden. Other, we should keep an eye on the weather. We might need to think of something indoors. Another expression. By no means, we normally use it to emphasize a negative statement. For example, it is by no means certain that the team is going to survive this year. Or another one, it is by no means certain that I'll get that promotion.
These are really insightful expressions. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Let me continue with turn out to be something. It means to develop in a particular way in the end. One example is, things can turn out to be a little different than we expected. Or, that meal has turned out to be wonderful. It was really tasty. Contrary to popular belief means going against what many people think. For example, contrary to popular belief, our president is actually a hardworking individual. Or another one, contrary to popular belief, the manager of the football team has really made a difference.
Thank you for explaining. These expressions are quite insightful.
Another good advanced English expression is keep in touch. It means to stay in contact with someone. For example, please keep in touch and let me know how things are going. Or another one, I'll keep in touch with you when things develop.
I understand. It's about maintaining communication. Please continue.
Get paid under the table simply means to receive payment for something being done illegally or unauthorized. For example, the employee was paid under the table. Or another one, Mike was paid under the table to ensure that Daniel's daughter graduated with honors.
Oh, I see. It's about receiving payments discreetly. Please proceed.
Lastly, to crash somewhere means to find a place to sleep. For example, I need a place to crash tonight. Or another one, can I crash at your place for a few days? I am tired.
Ah, I understand. It's about finding temporary accommodation. Thank you for sharing all these expressions.
You're welcome. I hope they prove useful to you and the students.
Definitely. Thank you for your help.
No problem. If you have any more questions, or need further explanations, feel free to ask.
Teacher, I found the previous lesson on advanced expressions very helpful. Could you teach us some more?
Of course, I'm glad you found it helpful. Let's dive into some more advanced phrases. Have you ever heard of the expression, to beat around the bush?
Yes, I think I've heard it before, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
To beat around the bush means to avoid talking about something directly, usually because it's uncomfortable or sensitive. For instance, instead of directly addressing an issue, someone might talk vaguely or indirectly about it. For example, stop beating around the bush and just tell me what you think.
Ah, I see. It's like avoiding the main point of discussion. Please continue.
Another useful phrase is, to get the hang of something. This means to learn how to do something or to understand it, usually after some practice or experience. For instance, I struggled with the new software at first, but after a few days, I finally got the hang of it.
That's a handy phrase. It's like mastering a skill through practice. What's next?
To go the extra mile is another expression. It means to make a special effort to achieve something beyond what is required or expected. For example, she always goes the extra mile to ensure her clients are satisfied.
Ah, so it's about putting in additional effort. Please continue with more phrases.
Sure. To bite off more than you can chew is an interesting one. It means to take on a task that is too big or difficult to handle. For example, I think I've bitten off more than I can chew with this project deadline.
That's a vivid expression. It's like overwhelming oneself with tasks. What else do you have for us?
How about to get the ball rolling? This means to start or initiate something, especially to start a process or activity. For example, let's get the ball rolling on this project by scheduling our first meeting.
I understand. It's about initiating an action or process. Please continue.
To hit the nail on the head is another great expression. It means to describe exactly what is causing a situation or problem. For instance, you really hit the nail on the head with your analysis of the issue.
That's a precise way of expressing understanding. What else can you teach us?
How about to let the cat out of the bag? This means to reveal a secret or disclose information that was supposed to be kept hidden. For example, I accidentally let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party.
Ah, I see. It's about unintentionally revealing confidential information. Please continue with more phrases.
One more for now, to play devil's advocate. This means to argue against something, not because you believe it, but to test the strength of the opposing argument. For instance, I'll play devil's advocate here and ask, what if we implement the changes, and it doesn't improve the situation?
That's an interesting perspective. It's like presenting an opposing view for the sake of discussion. Thank you for sharing these advanced phrases, teacher.
You're welcome. Feel free to ask if you have any questions about these expressions or if you'd like to learn more.